Bill from Share the Vision TV again. I have with me today the Honorable Steve Pearce, Congressman from the 2nd District in New Mexico, and he is now the chairman of the Republican Party in New Mexico. We just came from the State of the State address with Governor Lujan Grisham, and there's some interesting things that I think we ought to talk about here. While she was certainly energetic, I believe she was seriously misguided as well. So, Congressman, we talked about families a lot and growing bureaucracies. What did she say in there that was striking to you?
Well, number one, she says that we're going to improve the minimum wage, but she's also talking about how to get rid of the high-paying jobs that are in the northwest part of the state and the southeast. She said that we're going to move to 50% renewable by 2030 and 80% in 10 years more than that. Those goals are preposterous. There's no scientific way to get it done. The technology doesn't exist. In the meantime, she's indicating that she will shut down oil and gas. She's already doing that in the northwest part of the state. Absolutely. And as the drillers find out that this state is not friendly to the industry, they'll simply go to another state. They can easily move just a couple of miles and be in Texas rather than trying to fight the New Mexico bureaucracy. These are $100,000 a year jobs that are on the rigs and driving trucks right now. She's going to shut that down. Plus, the oil and gas has driven a $1.2 billion surplus. And she acts like that it just is going to continue to come in. Already the price of oil has fallen to 45, so that $1.2 billion surplus does not look like it's going to be there next year. And she's put it into recurring expenditures. And so I just wonder where in the world she's going to pay for everything.
Well, that's certainly one of the big issues we have there. So it seemed to me that one of the ways she was going to pay for this was to raid our permanent fund again. And
she suggested two different ways to raid the permanent fund. And all of those should be current expenditures. You know, when you have a savings account, it should be there for emergencies. And people say, well, we're in an emergency. Not with a $1.2 billion surplus. We're not in an emergency. And so leave the permanent fund alone. Don't tap that. That's for when we have no oil and gas at all. The oil and gas is putting $3 billion into our state this year and roughly $3 billion. So you can say, okay, let's project. Let's say that we have a $21 billion surplus right now, our permanent fund. That's only 7 years. If we're going to spend it up, understand that it's for there when we don't have any oil and gas. So you have to figure, okay, we're going to have to use that money up. But why are we using it now with a big surplus?
And so that's certainly one of the ways I think she's going to pay for it is by literally stealing from the next generation.
Yes.
When we raided the permanent fund about 15 years ago, it had an impact on today's budget. Currently, the judge has said that we need to spend about $500 million more on education than we've been spending. The interesting thing is, had we not raided the permanent fund 15 years ago, we would have exactly $500 million more in recurring revenue from the interest that grew off that permanent fund then.
Yes, and what we're going to do is now cause a penalty downstream because the interest that we're going to be stealing right now from that future generation is going to do the same thing. So you have to keep spending deeper into your savings when you use your savings because you're not going to have that income from the interest.
So if you don't know what the rule of 72 is, you ought to look it up because that's how interest doubles your money. It's the rule of 72. You ought to just look that up. One of the things that she talked about here was gun violence, 400 violent gun crimes in New Mexico. So she wants to make sure that all gun owners become criminals. What she then got the biggest applause line is to make sure that New Mexico stays the late-term abortion capital of the country. 3,000 children are killed in New Mexico every year, and she's concerned about 400 gun crimes that don't necessarily leave anybody's dead.
Yeah, I think that there's no issue that separates the two parties more than this single one. Having New Mexico as the late-term abortion capital is one thing, but causing to the conscience protection for doctors and hospitals, they right now have the right to say, wait, I am conscientiously opposed to abortions, therefore I can't perform it. Or hospitals say, wait, this is against our religion's principles and they can avoid it. She's going to take that away. So not only is New Mexico going to be the late-term abortion capital of the country, but also we're going to be attacking those institutions which have conscience protections right now.
So That's what happened at the State of the State address this year. Make sure you click the like button on this and please subscribe to Share the Vision TV. This is Bill Sherrill.